Damn, son, where'd you find this?
Who taught you to hate the texture of your hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin to such extent that you bleach to get like the white man? Who taught you to hate the shape of your nose and the shape of your lips? Who taught you to hate yourself from the top of your head to the soles of your feet?
I love people as I meet them one by one. People are just wonderful as individuals. You see the whole...
My great aspiration, my greatest ambition is to be so good. Now, in that way, I'm tiresome, as I suppose, to live with, because I want to be a fantastic human being.
I am the greatest. We're not disputing that, Cash. It's how does Sonny Liston feel about it? He can't feel but one way, and let's take everything I say and like it. Because February the 25th, I'm going to take back my job. I'm the champ. He's no champ. He's a tramp.
When you see men fall, don't laugh. Learn. Learn. Because you're on your way up. And the things that tempt people to fall, you and I are not free from that temptation.
What's up, peoples? Blessings. I almost said Monday. I ain't gonna hold you. I forgot. I had that little extra. Peace and blessings, though, man. Glory, praise, and honor to the Most High. Welcome to Assembly of Excellence. We are back live and in the flesh, man. Big shout outs to my writers, poets, content creators. Thank you. Much love to everybody who has been showing up for the channel, man. I appreciate all of you. We got some things to discuss. I'm waiting on one, and I have one in the clip right now in the studio. I'm just trying to give them a moment to gather themselves. Push come to shove, you already know I operate on the wing, so I hope you got something to snack on, get comfortable, you know what I'm saying? Like, share, repost, let the people know that we are live. Let the algorithm know that we are here, that we are present. And we about to have some grown folks talk. You did. Miss Sydney. I was worried. I was so worried. I was on the edge of my feet. The thunder was roaring. It was cackling in the sky. The rain, I can smell it. I feel like I was getting ready to go on a voyage. Glad to see you. I just was letting them know that we was about to have a nice little discussion here. Let me go ahead and bring you up. I don't know what Six Rings is doing. I'm gonna bring you up. Good evening, ma'am. How are you?
Hello. I didn't press continue when I was going to the link. Like, there's the first window and then the second window, which takes you to here. I didn't press the second button. So I was like, what's happening? And I looked down, I'm like, oh, I'm not in yet.
Sensational.
Not much. I You'll probably hear my daughter coming up. It is just about time for her to fall asleep for a nap, but of course she can't just do that by herself. So you'll probably hear her coming up. I'm doing pretty good actually. Finally, after like probably 2 months, a month and a half. I don't know. It's been a while since I've written a poem fully. Like I've written some lines, but I haven't like actually sat down and written. And it was one of those like, oh my God, what if I'm ADHD, so I'm so used to like jumping from topic to topic. I'm like, oh my God, what if this was just a passing phase? Like, what if I'm just gonna like not do? And then I wrote a poem today, so I feel better.
That's the worst. You getting stuck on one and then going into something else, and then I haven't done that in a while, but it is nerve-wracking for me personally. So I understand completely. Trust.
Yeah. Especially because there were times that I tried to sit down and write, and with everything happening, with every event, and I don't even know what to call all of this. Whatever we're going through right now. There's just so much to write. There's so much to say. There's so much happening. There's so many different events. And like, I used to base my poems on like, oh, this event stood out in my mind, so I'm gonna write a poem about it. But I'm like, I think half of it was overwhelmed because there's just so much. And it's all like rapidly, it's not just the obvious front that everyone probably assumes I'm talking about, but also like with how fast AI is changing things and how rapidly climate change is making an appearance and how rapidly war in other countries is becoming a prospect and how like dangerous all of these chemicals and products and stuff that they've warned us about for years and years are now kind of coming to fruition at the same time, and I think that's kind of what's crazy. But yeah, that's the long to say. There was, I think it was that kind of overwhelm of just so much stuff that I didn't know where to start, and then just the anxiety that comes with it, so I'm not able to like settle to write.
I mean,
Salute. How y'all doing this evening?
Hello, good to see you.
Yo,
all right, same here.
You got
How
your
you doing up top?
I'm good.
Bless. We got a storm here. I'm ready for it. I'm absolutely ready for it. Some people can't stand it. I love the rain. Bring all of it.
Well, I feel blessed too, man. I'm just coming off of 41 years, man. B-Day was amazing. If y'all can, man, go to the beach, man. It helps. It helps clear your mind and clear your thoughts and stuff. So it was fun.
Nature is always the best.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we are gathered here today because I had come across a clip, and the funny part of it is I don't know if they took it down or what, but I can't find it anymore. I did save it, but the conversation was about what is moderate, what is being modest, what is going too far with the way that women are presenting themselves on social media or out in the public. should you be able to voice your opinion and have any type of thought towards someone who is overly provocative, or is what they are promoting or putting out there a positive on the internet, or just like in the community in general? I mean, it got intense. The back and forth between that crew, it got to the point to where it went viral. And I wish I could find it again, and I know we've spoken on fashion and things like that, but I don't know if we've ever gone as far as to touch on how much of any of it is our business or not really our concern, or should be our concern. So I'll seeing as how we have a woman in the building, I would rather, I always like to let them kick it off first, just because you hear men talk about it, it's going to sound misogynist and all that. So I'll let you give some initial thoughts. You don't have to go too in depth yet, but just your initial thoughts on this era and how you see it. Or
This one's a little bit difficult for me to, like, I personally do not like any of that. Like, the type of exposure that is becoming normal. I've never been a fan of it. I remember in high school when I was probably 15 or 16, I decided to go with the trend where I was going to wear a low-cut tank top with a push-up underneath, and then have like a V-neck shirt, so it like framed everything. And then I'd wear like high heels with form-fitting pants. And so even then, even though I was trying to like show off, I still felt deeply uncomfortable. Like, I loved the heels because they made me feel like tall and powerful, because I'm not that tall in real life. But exposing myself and just the feeling of people staring at you, even if they weren't, even if they were, like, I didn't want to have that on me all the time. And I get how some people can find it thrilling, but it just is, to me, it was deeply uncomfortable. And then also the aspects of cleanliness and just safety. I believe in freedom of expression. Like, you should be able to dress the way that you want. You shouldn't have your government, your city, whatever, telling you how to dress. I mean, there are certain circumstances, like if there's going to be a lot of children present, there should be some decency at least. But people should be allowed to wear what they want to wear, as long as it's not like actually vulgar. But where you draw the line, that's a bit, I think that's where it's really difficult, because you're basically telling people that they can't express themselves the way that they want to, or at least they can make that argument. And people could also argue that even showing cleavage is vulgar. So there's a lot of gray area in that. So yeah, lawfully, it's a really difficult question, but in my eyes, I think it's gross, and I think it's unsanitary, and just, we're better than this. You don't need that to prove yourself. Like, there are better ways to present yourself to society. But I'll end it there.
6, I'll turn the mic over to you, brother. You want to chime in?
Yeah, no problem. All I'm gonna say on the matter, my initial thoughts is it depends on how you frame that situation. Like Miss Sydney was saying, people, women can wear whatever they want, which they could, but from a male's perspective, I'm gonna say it got a lot to do with not just what you wear, is how um, a woman carry themselves, and that's would put more emphasis on the vulgarness and the outfit or whatever she's wearing. Like if her attitude or her character is matching up with that costume, then that's what she's gonna be treated like. You know what I'm saying? So it's not too much of what she wears, how she carries herself, and I think that's what the disconnect when it comes to weighing certain things. Because you wear certain things, they think you like every woman that does that, and that's not true. So I mean that's pretty much how you frame it, depending on how you look at stuff. But yeah, I think women should be entitled to what they want to wear. They want to wear that, and it depends on uh if they what status they under, single or whatever like that. Yeah, they should be able to express themselves how they see fit, how they view themselves. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's where the disconnect would be with what with the outfits or how they dress. That's it.
There's a number of patterns that we need to acknowledge, and it goes for men and women. There's a difference between fashion and freedom of expression, and a culture that promotes vulgarity. There's a huge confusion, or like this weird distinction between the two. You're not going to tell me that you can have a picture of you with a skirt that shows or reveals 5 to 6 inches of your backside bent over in front of a mirror and tell me that's art. Fashion and freedom of expression, are they the same things? What is fashion? What is style? What brings character? What brings life to that outfit? What makes a person look at it and judge it for a positive reaction? What are you trying to establish when you step out of the door, or when you get in front of the camera when you're wearing this stuff? For me, a lot of this is promoting the wrong ideas, is giving people a weird, blurred understanding of what they should be perceiving this as and what it really is. You can have someone who is moderately dressed and their vocabulary coupled with their outfit can still give you that same feeling that you would get if you were looking at someone who was half dressed, and one slip and everything is just going to fall apart, and I give you one quick example. I wish I could pull it up on the screen. Matter of fact, nah, I can't. This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go on my Twitter account because I was just there, right? So I'm gonna try to put this in frame for y'all because somebody said that Ruby Rose is her inspiration. Now, if you don't know who Ruby Rose is, well, based on this picture right here, you'll understand why she said that's her inspiration. Now, let's see if I can get.
I mean, the name alone. There's
Now,
no way that's her birth name.
see, so this isn't Ruby Rose, but this is her. I guess this is her way of emulating her, or saying, well, what Ruby Rose does and how she carries herself is inspiring. And but what you're showing me here, ma'am, is the complete opposite. This is Pornhub right here. This is soft core. So that's why I'm like, what is fashion? What is expression of freedom? How are you expressing your ability to wear something and celebrate it in a positive way? I don't see any of that here. I'll yield the mic for now.
For one, to answer for fashion in a general sense, it's when you, or like style, you're creating a wardrobe for yourself or for another person that matches both their interests, like the things that they like, the things that they want to see in their clothing, in a way that fits their body. So the clothes should go well together and should match their personality and kind of with what they're using them for. So like obviously you don't want a cocktail dress if you're working on a farm type of deal. So it's a mixture of like matching personality to clothes and body type to clothes in a way that hopefully would be tasteful, but I suppose that people have very different definitions of tasteful, or have thrown the idea of tastefulness out the window and basically just put on whatever looks the most interesting. I think it does depend though, because there are groups of women that put a lot of thought and like curate their wardrobe and like make sure that they are expressing the image that they want to show. Like I watch a lot of minimalism content, and you see that where they have made their wardrobe match what their lifestyle is and match their style. And yeah, so it, in a way, fashion, styling, all of that really needs to be thought out and kind of like pointed. You can't just like throw whatever together and call it fashion unless maybe you're like an expert and have gotten to the point where you can like mix and match random things and make something cool. That's beside the point. What they're doing, the reason why it's considered freedom of expression is because technically they don't have the right to dictate what you wear. And so the government can't really say you can't wear that in public or whatever, but they can define the line between nudity / vulgar clothing and the public. But unfortunately, there's a lot of exposure anyways through social media, so it doesn't help that angle. So kids are still being exposed to these outfits and are wanting to wear these outfits and are even asking for the same brands as wealthy influencers, like being upset that their parents didn't buy them a Balenciaga or something. So there's a lot of opportunity to spread this mindset to people that are vulnerable. And in public, I don't know. I don't go out in public very often, so I don't really see what people are wearing. But I personally wouldn't really want to see that. But I also wouldn't like call somebody out for wearing something like that. But I might point it out if my kids were old enough. Point it out, and be like, "Don't you ever dress like that? If I ever catch you like that in public, I'm taking you home." So, yeah.
All I'm gonna say on this matter, it comes down to the personality, what they trying to put out there, what they like, what you said, what they influenced by, and stuff like that. Because I think that's the message itself to me. Like whatever they're trying to present, or whatever their interests are. So everybody like to look nice. I'm gonna put that on the table. I think everybody like to look nice. I don't think nobody intends on dressing like a scrub. People want to look good. Men do it, women do it. Let's put it on the table. And for the most part, when it comes down to how somebody dress and outfits, or what type of style you want to put out there for the occasion, we're gonna be real about it. It comes down to attraction and the opposite sex. That's why I get done like that. So we're gonna put that out there. Now, the meaning behind it is the, I guess, the stereotype or whatever, that everybody that wear this or wear that, do this, do that. That's the thing. So it depends on social media, of course, play a big part in that role of, clothing and this, that, and the third. But, the getting to the meat and potatoes of everything, that's why people wear what they want, or go to the store and get what they want: shoes, jewelry, cars, whatever. That's what it's all about. And that's it. Now, if you're talking about another level, like, I don't think you always have to dress like that, but that's the main reason why people do it, to attract. That's what it's about, you know. But I think when you already have attracted, you know what I'm saying, I don't see the point in trying to keep attracting. So I think that should be the real message, you know. If you got that type of, like you said up top, that type of mindset, that type of behavior, you know, hot girl summer type syndrome, if you want something like that, then that don't apply to you, you know. We know what you're about. You know, this is what you advocate. You like party life. You know what I'm saying? You like to be, irresponsible with yours and all of that. So if that's what's being presented, then yeah, I think that's an issue. That's an influence. But on the norm, of everybody, getting together and doing their thing, it's nothing wrong with looking good for somebody else. I mean, that's why you do it for. There's nothing wrong with that. Style, clothing, every bit of it. Come down, hats, everything. You put it on.
It's one thing to want to look good and feel good for yourself. It's another thing to become a walking billboard, putting targets on your back. Like, I've thought about this long and hard, and you are what you attract. I think that goes with the way that you think I think it goes the way what you smell. I think it goes the way that your hygiene is. And on top of that, I think that your dress absolutely is a huge indicator initially for people immediately. Above everything else, your aesthetics always is going to be the first thing that resonates in a person's mind for that first impression. And y'all can say whatever you want. You're not supposed to judge a book by its cover, but everybody judges the book by its cover. If that wasn't true, why aren't any of you dating homeless people? Why don't you let them in the restaurant and eat or use the restroom? Why do you follow people around in the store and monitor them thinking they're going to steal? Why do people get robbed for wearing jewelry or expensive, exclusive shoes that nobody else got access to? From your clothes to your cars to the very pair of shades, people automatically are assessing, and they have like this register going off in their head. Like, I think about the Terminator, right? The Terminator 3 specifically, when she was looking for John Connor in the what's the name? They scan the perimeter. You got like this computer in their head there. Beep 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 beep. This is this target such. I think that's exactly how humans are. They look at a person up and down, give them a quick glance. You see what he got on. You make a assumption about what type of person they could be based on what they wear, and then you proceed to either talk to them, line them up, or ignore them and completely act like they are non-existent. So some people understand this, some people don't. And I think that's I think that's a huge problem. No, we don't have the right to throw stones at anybody. At the same token, you still have to have some level of, I need to preserve, I need to protect, I need to put myself first and anybody who is attached to me in the best position not to fall susceptible to harm or danger. And there's potential for harm and danger in every aspect of our decision making. Dress code might not seem like much, but back in high school, people lost their life over coats. They lost their lives over shoes. So the distinction between fashion and just you just straight up promoting your OnlyFans or your link trees there's a huge difference. A huge difference. I'll use the mic.
Yeah, it's, how do I want to say this? I think that they need to define what exactly is acceptable and what wouldn't be acceptable. Like, which body parts need to be covered, or at least private establishments. Hold on, there's someone upstairs. Because in truly public places, unless the state or whatever city makes an explicit law about it, that people vote for, they can't technically tell you how you can and can't dress. So if they wanted to actually have more of a pressure on people not to do it, it would probably be through that, like the malls, the restaurants, or whatever. Like, no, you have to, like the same kind of no shirt, no shoes, no service type of deal. Like, no, like no cleavage, no butt showing. I don't know, something like that. But I think there wouldn't be much of a way to do something about it with the government, from the government aspect, but I think as a society we can demand better. The women that are not interested in dressing like that can make a statement by dressing up in public, like dressing nicely in the way that we used to. We used to walk, like people used to not be comfortable going outside unless they were so that's where the term comes, dressed to the nines. They they had to have a formal appearance because that was a representation, as you guys were saying. It's a representation of who you are. It doesn't matter what you want to believe it represents. People are going to form an opinion about you depending on what you're wearing. And if you're wearing things that are not very presentable, they're going to assume not very nice things about you, very likely. And it's just human nature for us to do that, to make assumptions, because that's how we determine whether people are part of our circle, are dangerous to us, or are people that we can ignore. And so to believe that people can just ignore you for your appearance is definitely untrue. But in that, we have the ability to control how, in a nice way, control how people see us. If we want people to think that we are put together and are nice and approachable, that's how we have to present ourselves. But and also from a dating sphere, I think men also have a part to play in that they have to start going for the women that are choosing to be modest, to show that they're preferring that behavior over the whatever you want to call it that's happening now. Because I think if men who arguably have the biggest sway and for women, besides themselves, but if those men are only wanting to date women that are presenting themselves better, they would be less likely to, or they'd be more likely to follow suit and be like, all right, well, this is popular now, so I guess I have to be more modest.
Six, do you agree? Do you disagree?
Yeah, I'm here. Yes, I do agree with what she said about that. You gotta dress. You gotta dress your personality and how you want to be perceived, even though it can be misperceived. Though, you know what I'm saying? I say, I say, women like, it's certain women out here that like guys with pants hanging off they butt. They don't want a guy with a belt on. They don't. They once they see those underwear, yeah, that's him right there. I want to talk to him. I haven't seen it. You know, you see a guy that's dressing with a certain women like guys that dress in suits. So it go both ways. But I will say this: no matter what you choose to wear, you're gonna attract a certain group to you. You can dress like Steve Urkel, you know. That don't mean you're a nerd. I got bifocus. Oh, you're a nerd. You know every word in the Webster. It don't. You can have a police cop uh uniform on. That don't mean you here to fight crime. You see what I'm saying? But that's the way it's perceived. Like, I guess I can call for you to to help the situation out. I don't have no experience. We doomed. You see what I'm saying? So those outfits that you choose to wear, or however you first, it start with yourself, because I think everybody get a chance to look in the damn mirror before they leave. I know I do. You get a chance to check your clothes, make sure this is how you want to be perceived when you ready to face your day, however you want to go out and face your day. But when you out there around the public, the people, I'm gonna say, of course, your peers, your opposite sex, whatever. Like you said up top, Miss Sydney, you got all these opinions, and everybody's gonna is gonna have something different to touch on about your appearance. It's very important. Your appearance is very important, and what you attract by the way you look is should match up with your personality. If you look like a damn drunk, then somebody gonna say, "Hey, I got these booze in here. You want to hit this off?" That's how it go. You know. So be mindful. I'm gonna say be mindful, but don't be surprised, because you can control how you look to the public, but you cannot control how somebody's gonna view the way you look. Like somebody said, you got this, you dressing half naked, you know what I'm saying? You dressing like you don't have no underwear on. I'm thinking you're a prostitute, right? That's foul to approach somebody like that. As a male, you approach a woman, you think she's a prostitute, and she say no. I'm not on, I'm not on nothing like that. How dare you? Or however she say to him. Well, he say, well, damn, man, it sure look like you sure got one on, though. You got that uniform on like you're a prostitute. Hey, it is what it is. You dress like a baller and don't got no damn ends in your pocket to pay for the date. But you dress like the woman looking at the man like he got it all. You get her out on a date and he asking her to pay. You see the perception, like it's perceived to to the eye like this is what it is, and it ain't. So you got a lot of situations, not just with we are touching on appearance, just dealing with appearance itself, that it get perceived and misled. You sending missed signals. So when you don't match up with how you look, then why is that?
It boils down to me having a question, which it could go either way. Do people really dress based on their personality? I say some people do. I think some people are in this weird, I'm trying to figure it out phase. I think everybody's had it before. Some people grow out of it, some people get stuck in it. Um that's a tough one. It really is, man, because you can look at a streetwalker and think they're just a streetwalker, but you don't really know their life. That person could be an angel in disguise. Then you wouldn't even know it, because you automatically assume tattoos, scars, tits out. They look like they've been through hell. whole time they more anointed than you are. I mean, that's the real truth that people don't be wanting to hear. And y'all got the most expensive stuff on, but like your spirit stink, your personality stink. The way that you communicate is horrible. So I do think a lot of people dress the way that they think. That's the best way I can put it. A lot of folks dress the way that they think about themselves, or how they feel about themselves. If you like, if it's hard for me to believe that you're not a sexual person dressing the way that you dress as a woman on social media. Social media has every form of vagabond that you could think of. I was trying to think of one of the most visceral words that I could come up with to describe the level of human that is behind the screen, because you don't know everybody up here. You really are willing to risk giving the perception of something that you're not. And the only reason I think that you do it is because you're not playing the role. That's just who you are. You know how people lie about being in, oh, I'm an innocent girl, I'm an innocent this, I'm but you don't dress like that. You dress like as soon as we get home and ain't nobody else around and we comfortable, it's over. It is definitely attention too. Absolutely, 100%. That's dangerous. I might end up segueing off into that, but I'm gonna stop right there. 6. Let me ask you a question. How much attention is too much attention? Or is there too much attention? Is there a limit to attention?
Yeah, you say how much? How much attention? It's it's levels to this. I'm gonna say that it's levels. We spoke about it before with um, the promiscuous dressing. I already stated on here that men do it, women do it. We do it to attract the opposite sex. That's why it looked like that when you see him. It's for the other person. And when it go down, it goes down. Now, once you, like I said, once you get that person and that go down, um, and and you get into like a long term committed or marriage with a person, then I think it should change up. I think it should change up with the dressing, with the dress code and how you view your partner, whoever your partner is. I don't think a woman should be still out here still putting herself on the market. Like I spoke about that. It's women out here that's in marriages or in relationships that put themselves on the market, and I think that's the wrong attention. That's too much attention. You getting too much attention that way. You get more eyes on you. You putting you getting attention to your husband too, whoever he is. He got eyes on it, and this is the type of stuff that goes on. I don't think nothing wrong with getting that to attracting someone. I think that's the attention that they were looking for. You know what I'm saying? If you talking about attention, I think they were looking for that attention. But the problem is when it comes to too much attention is when you on the other side and you already supposed to be chosen up and you took in and you supposed to be off the market and you pretty much saying dressing like that, like I spoke about with the Sierra and Russell Wilson, is that hey, I'm still popping. You know, this is me. Hey, I'm the shit pretty much. You know what I'm saying? And that's what be going on with the attention seeking. Like if you already got chosen, there's a lot of women that search for attention and they like attention seekers. And I think that's where it becomes too much.
Sid, I got a question for you. Do you see a problem with the man in the relationship having a say so in a woman's dress code, if they're dating or if they're in a relationship? Should he have say so in how you leave out the house? Is that a problem?
Once they're in a committed relationship, I think he should have say in the sense that if she's going out with something that he feels uncomfortable with her wearing, uh, he should have the right to request that she modifies it. Um, it's more of a gray area of the specifics of what to do after that if she says no or whatever. And I think it's within the bounds of those people's relationship to decide. And every relationship will be different. But I think once they have a serious commitment to each other and they have decided that they are going to stick it out with one another and they are done searching for any other person, it's more than reasonable for the partner to request things like that, because it's not always a vanity thing. It could be a safety issue. It could be some other sort of issue, like, oh, that's an improper outfit for what we're going to be doing. It doesn't necessarily have to be like I'm being controlling, I'm telling you what you can't wear. Like, you can have legitimate reasons for not wanting them to wear it. Like, there's a difference between saying like, you have to wear this dress that goes up to your neck because I don't want you to be seen by everyone. Like, that's abusive. But if you're just saying like, hey, we're going to a concert, you may not want to wear spaghetti straps because somebody could cut your shirt or something, it could get broken. Like those types of things are completely within the are completely reasonable for a spouse to or partner to do for their partner. Was there a second part to the question, or was it just that?
Yeah, I see too many conversations where women they get triggered or they'll get very defensive. Oh, you ain't gonna tell me how to dress. If you gotta tell me how to dress, then you're insecure and we don't need to be together because I'm gonna dress the way that I want to dress no matter who you are. The person who's going to be with me is going to be with me because they are confident in knowing that I picked them because I looked at them and thought that they were the best choice for me, and they're not going to have a problem with me showing off. Why wouldn't you want your girl to look good and show off her body? Why wouldn't you want her to do this and do that? And I'm just thinking, man, you just don't get it. You really don't understand what this is, what it's about. And it's either that or you just aren't with that particular person that's going to make you want to make those adjustments on your own.
I think there is also the additional reason that sadly there are also there are actually controlling men out there, and so if people are dating 25, 50 people. They've probably encountered controlling men before. And so our brain has a tendency to assume that the thing that happens the most is happening all the time. And I can see how many of these women might come to the conclusion that all men are controlling. And so even if they hear good-hearted comments, they're going to automatically interpret them as controlling.
Yeah. On the matter of the man telling this woman what she can wear. I just don't feel like it should even come down to that. I don't think that a man should have to express to his lady on what and how she should look leaving the home, being in a committed with him, because it's like, I feel like if that woman, whoever that woman is, if that woman have the utmost respect for her partner, she wouldn't even dare to put that on. Do you get me? It's a respect thing. If a woman dress promiscuous after LTR, man, she don't respect her partner. That's what it is. It's no gaslighting. It's no, I want to look good for the evening. I gotta, you're not going out with your, you even if you're going out with your girlfriends and all of that, you know what I'm saying? I gotta look a little extra. You sort of seen with Keke Palmer and how that played out with her folks and with the Usher thing. So we're not gonna do all of that. The bottom line is, if she respected that, respected her baby father or boy, whoever he is, with her, you see what I'm saying? She wouldn't even have left the home like that to go to Usher. Do you feel me? So once she left and he was in there with that baby, that stamped it right there. And what women gotta understand is, it's not so much of a man being insecure. It's what comes with that, because if you're a single lady, if you're single and you go out, with your girlfriends, or single ladies, and you're looking to be acquired with someone or attract a certain type of male, then that's what you're getting when you're in the relationship too. It don't stop. That's all we're saying. You know what I'm saying? If you go out dressing promiscuous and you're in a marriage or a long-term relationship, what you're saying is you're inviting a lot of disrespect to come to your partner's doorstep. That's what that means. Because if he's your husband or your boyfriend, or y'all supposed to be serious, you putting pressure on him because he got to go check whoever that person is that's got eyes on you, or he's undressing you with his eyes or stuff like that. Like he want to buy you a drink because of what you got on. What you doing later because of what you got on? Do you have a man because of what you got on? You see what I'm saying? All this extra attention, like you said, is because of what you chose to put on. So you're gonna get that. If you look like you're not with nobody, then that's what's gonna happen. You're gonna get that type of feel. People can read the room enough to see if she's taking, not taking, like that. So that's all I'm saying. It shouldn't even come down to that. It's a respect thing. That's all.
Sensational.
Okay, so people are dressing the way that they think Some people are confused about the way they think. Some people are advertising and promoting specifically to a targeted audience, while also cultivating this violence and this debauchery that we see today as we speak. There are folks that are absolutely out of their fucking minds. And they are just specifically trying to lure you into an obscure version of yourself that will ultimately cause you a major setback in your own walk. That's the sum of it that I get from it. Dressing like that and you making a life off of twerk videos and you're high maintenance, but you ain't so high maintenance to dress modestly. I don't get that one. You snooty and bougie, but really you are a high maintenance escort service. Sum it up, and the guys like rest in peace to PNB Rock, man. Y'all go out y'all way spending hundreds and thousands of dollars on all of this jewelry and stuff, and then that's why I say it's a flip side, because you're gonna get what you put out there. I think everybody has said the same thing ultimately. I would rather look homeless and look poor than to have a big ass bullseye target on me that says, hey, you're invited to rob me, you're invited to rape me, you're invited to lust and desire me and fornicate to me, and everything has a consequence to it, and a reacting to it. You can't control how someone is going to react to you being half naked on social media. You can't predict how someone's going to respond to you having a $3,000 watch on, or a chain on, or some expensive ass jerseys. You can't tell somebody how to look at that. Everybody grew up different. Everybody was raised to see value in things differently, and there are no honor amongst thieves. So those are my final thoughts on it. Hey, dress how you want to dress, but shut the fuck up when you get dick pics in your private messages all day, every day, and don't say nothing else, or cry and complain when you see somebody on the news that got gunned down because somebody wanted to rob them for something. Like, I just don't understand how y'all can complain about something, but you are the catalyst for the motivations behind the people who proceed to partake in the crimes and so forth. I yield the mic if anyone wants to share any final thoughts.
Yeah, I was just going to say, really dress the way you want to, but don't be mad at the consequences, because these days, especially when everything is so cutthroat and there really aren't many good options out there, people are going to pass you over just from the way that you're dressing, the way that you choose to live, whatever. So you don't really want to give people the opportunity to cast that type of judgment on you before they've gotten the chance to know you. And there are also a lot of people don't like the argument about like, oh well, people shouldn't commit crimes. Uh, Unfortunately, it is still something to consider because as a woman, especially when you go into public places, we are inherently more vulnerable than men because of our size in comparison to men, and more women than men have experience with weapons, and it's a sad fact, but it is something that we do have to consider. That thing can happen to us, and as such, we should also pay attention to how we dress because even if it has nothing to do with why we were attacked, it can actually make the difference between us being able to get away or not. And if you're ever out in general, you should wear clothes that are easy to get around in because you never know when you're going to need to like run and catch a taxi or like run across a street or whatever. And running in heels and a tight little skirt that's going to come up when you run is not fun. I've not done it to that extent, but I did have to run around in heels and a skirt when I was in the FFA. And yeah, it's not fun. So it's just more prudent to dress in a way that's less revealing. And there are ways to be sexy without being all out there. Like you don't have to do that. So yeah, I want people to have the ability to dress the way they want, but I also pray that people have the self-respect that they need to know that they don't have to do that.
Yeah. To piggyback off what she said, I think the best solution is getting to know somebody. You got to get to know somebody's character, not so much of their appearance. But I will say appearance is good because, like I said, it gets you in the door. It's like I said, it's an attraction. I like how your appearance is. Your appearance maybe would get the door closed on you too. So you got to watch that. But I don't think appearance is not everything. It's just the beginning of something. And once I'm gonna put it to you like this: once you like what you see, if you like what you see, then you want to know more. You want to find out more. And I think when you find out somebody's character, when you find out how somebody thinks or how somebody live their life, their values, how they treat people, I think that is the most important of all. It's not that, like I say, the appearance is not the most important. It's the beginning, but that character is what means the most when you getting to know someone. So that's all I want to leave the good people here. Don't judge a book by its cover. Just peel the pages back and find out what's going on.
Great show, folks. Amazing feedback. Excellent discussion, man. If you heard it, you heard it. Receive it. If you didn't, best of wishes to you. We about to get up out of here, though, man. Shout out to everybody in the building. Appreciate y'all for coming out. Robin, I see you reposting. Salutes to you. I see Rob, salutes to you, sir. 6, Sid, as always.
Appreciate it, man.
See you tomorrow.
Right on. If y'all are following, make sure you hit that notification bell so you don't miss the streams. What was I about to say? Oh yeah.
What's the goddamn button?
You dig? Yeah, I'll take it easy, man. I'll see y'all tomorrow, Lord willing.
All right. All about that beehive, though. Beehive production.